Hey, so I just tried to make this video on my phone and then it cut off. I didn't know the time limit, so it was very entertaining. So sorry you missed that. Um, so, anyways, uh, I feel like I haven't been creative in a while, and I used to make these videos called Poetry in Pajamas that was about being creative and doing the things you love, even when your body um, doesn't feel like it can go anymore. Like a lot, I feel like I want to be creative, but I resist it a lot, and a lot of that has to do with spending a lot of time trying to be in the moment and being active with our 17-month-old son. And having a really amazing husband that's like, whatever you want to do creatively, I will watch the baby. I will give you as much time as you need. But when I do have that time or that space, I just feel so tired. The kind of tired where it's like your brain really wants to do something, but all you can kind of do is just stare and not do anything that really you have to use your brain for. You kind of just want to stare at social media or YouTube or just anything that doesn't cause you to have to think too hard. And so I wanted to make a video today. Actually, I wanted to make it a few weeks ago and talk a little bit about kind of missing the kind of community that you have in college in a way. I feel like I was always inviting my friends to do things in college and requiring that they wear their pajamas. So I was like, let's go to the bookstore, but you have to wear your pajamas. And so I had this pair of snow boots that I wore everywhere, no matter what the outfit, and I still do that. But also, I think after we were married, it took me forever, but I convinced my husband to go to the movies in his pajamas with me. And so pajamas have always been important. I had a big dream that I wanted to write in New England, which came true, but I wanted to have this house on a big cliff, and I wanted it to rain and to be able to see the ocean, but I had like a seat, like a window seat, and like drink hot tea and write, but you never have to get out of your pajamas, and that I wanted, so there would be very special people in my life, and I'd be like, oh, you're invited to the house on the cliff, but you have to wear your pajamas. And so people would feel really special, but there was always that stipulation. And I think that, in some way I've always had school or work or an adventure, or sometimes an adventure that was work that didn't feel like it, like when I used to teach. And so now, even though I know how important it is to feed into and love my son, and how he's very amazing. He's very much like a little grown up. He's very smart. He has a very strong vocabulary, and he's only 17 months, so he's a lot of fun. But I think that in general, not getting able to do the things that I feel like make me feel more like me, like writing or painting, or I'm very introverted, but there are times that I do need community and I need people, causes me sometimes to just feel like my brain is kind of screaming and I'm just really resisting all the things that I love. And so I felt kind of isolated and a bit lost. And so now we kind of have a new baby coming, which is a great surprise for us. And I know there's a very special reason, and I'm excited to meet this miraculous, sweet baby that is going to stretch me a whole lot and challenge me, because in the past I have wanted surprises, but I'm not that great at change, and I feel like it's already very hard for me physically taking care of my son, and so there's a lot of fears that come into it, like, will I ever get to feel like myself again, or uh, will I have a life, because how am I going to take care of 2 kids when I can barely take care of one, and like go places. And I'm not saying that everybody's like that. A lot of people are younger than me. A lot of people just push through and push through, and I pushed through. But I think before I was pregnant, even, like, or before we ever had a baby, I don't have the kind of body that will just go and go and go. I have some illnesses, some chronic stuff that is why I kind of started Poetry and Pajamas, for people that are struggling with that kind of autoimmune disorders or thyroid disease and things where your brain wants so much to go, but your body's like blah, blah, a lot of the time. And so I've been proud of what I can do, and I'm excited that I'm able to raise my son in the things that growing up, I always was like, this is how I believe children want to be treated, and just to feed positivity and love into him. But I've been missing myself some, and I really have needed some friends, and not really like, I know a lot of times when I would have space, it's hard for me to like be that tired and then drive somewhere and act fun and that kind of thing. And so that's why I was thinking about college friends, and how you just kind of jump into the car in your PJs and go to the drive-thru and get ice cream, or go to the bookstore that stays open till 11 and sit on the floor and read books. But I'm a big book nerd, but that makes me happy. So I don't know. The baby goes to sleep at 8:30 or 9, and sometimes I just wish there was someone close that would just be like, okay, let's go get some soft serve and sit at the park in the car and turn up some DC Talk or New Kids on the Block and laugh about something silly, and just be in the same space as someone, and just do life with them. And I feel like a lot of my friends that were like that, or able to be, because a lot of them have more than one child and can't, are either far away or have their own thing, and that's perfectly fine. But I do find myself craving a relationship like that, and so anyways, I just feel like there are probably other moms who stay at home, and it's like I get really tired and I beat up on myself about wanting to be more in the moment with my son, wanting to enjoy him more, which probably pulls you out of the moment because you're anxious and you're thinking and getting stuck in your head. But at the same time, then when I do have time to myself, I'm tired and I look at my phone and I'm looking at pictures and videos of him. So I do know that I love him and I do know that I enjoy spending time with him, but it's just always that spiritual warfare, battle of the mind, where no matter what you're doing, if you can't kind of control that, it's like you're making yourself miserable or your blessings a burden. And I never wanted to be like that. I really like being positive. I really like being kind. And so I don't know. I just figure there are other people that are hard on themselves, and there are other moms that are creative and don't get to have that outlet, and not because they don't want it, or maybe their spouse just gives them that time, but it's like you just feel like a blob. And sometimes you can force yourself to be creative, and sometimes you're just like, I just need to lay here and stare. But it really was a blessing. A few months ago, I had some friends from Nashville, which had such an amazing writing community, Skype me into their writing group, and I was able to write a few things, which was really exciting. And so I did want to share at least one or two of those poems. And just say if you're out there and you're tired and you're excited about life on the inside, but your fatigue kind of makes you feel like you're not sometimes, that you're not alone and that you do have community. And I hope you find that friend that will jump in the car in their pajamas and go park somewhere and talk to you and laugh and eat french fries or Frosties or whatever. This doesn't have a title, but they opened me up. I had pushed hard for years and then hours. It wasn't that he was stuck, but that the safe place he'd found inside of me was warm, joyful, at peace. As if he, the little taco floating inside, bent and squished and beautifully brave, had found everything that was lovely about someone he'd never seen. Not an aging face, sagging breasts, or a glint of anxious eyes. He'd nested there, kicking my gallbladder as the good of me seeped into and transformed him. And while I pushed, he decided nothing could be more beautiful than what was inside. And so they opened me with a sharpness I couldn't feel, only anticipate. They put my uterus on a table after cutting into my womb, and they searched for him. Let's see. That I cook most often never involves cutting, slicing, blood. I have stopped bleeding for myself or because I cannot please others, but sometimes I cook by folding fish into foil, nurturing it with a massage, a rub of coconut oil, and covering it with spices, a blanket of comfort, pesto and company, tomatoes that I did not dice, and then hide it from the cold for 20 minutes. Timed. There was one more in here from a poetry exercise. Oh, there it is. Actually, I think I'm going to end this poetry in pajamas right here because I hear my son coming home and I need to go give him a big hug. But I will try to do another one of these really soon.